You're watching Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerantz. We thank you for joining us. Our guest is Corey Calaycay. Corey is the mayor of the city of Claremont. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Brad. Pleasure to be here.
I want to talk to you about Claremont and the challenges facing cities throughout California. As you know, the state of California had a tremendous budget gap, and to close its gap, it dipped into local coffers, which impacts cities like Claremont. How has it impacted Claremont?
That was a significant part. Actually just over a third of our budget shortfall came from the state takeaways. But then close to 2/3 was a result of revenue shortfalls. And a couple of areas in particular that were a big part of that, of course, were our sales tax and our transient occupancy tax, better known by perhaps your viewers as our hotel taxes.
I see. Now, I understand, and if you drive down the 10 and the 60, you see that Claremont has a nice number of auto dealerships. And obviously, auto dealerships, tremendous sales tax revenue. How has that impacted Claremont? Because for a while, auto sales had just crashed.
That's right, and that is a problem because Claremont is highly dependent on auto sales. About 2/3 of our sales tax comes from auto sales, and since last year, auto sales have been down about 50%, so that was a huge impact.
That being said, this summer, the federal government had this Cash for Clunkers program, and I'm wondering if that has helped Claremont because we know that auto sales spiked in the last few months.
You know, we haven't gotten those figures back, but
Really?
we are assuming that it is going to help us somewhat. But one of the things that we do need to look at as a community is where we go from here in terms of our future economic development. And so coming up at our next council meeting on the 22nd of September, we're going to be looking at the possibility of doing a gap analysis study, which without getting in all the technicalities is really about looking at all of our demographic data, our business data, and trying to come up with a plan for the future as to how to better diversify our economic base in Claremont.
I want to ask you because Claremont really has a crown jewel right in its midst, and that's the Claremont colleges. I mean, 5 of the best colleges in this entire nation. How does that impact Claremont economically? Is that an economic drive for your city?
It's certainly helpful having the students there. They do spend some money in our community. Of course, all of the professors are there and they spend money during the day. Some of them live in our community. So it definitely is, it is great to have the colleges there. They're very prestigious. They bring a lot of visitors from outside of the region into Claremont. They stay in our hotels.
Yes, they
so
do.
that is significant, absolutely.
In the final analysis, like you said, so much of the budget of Claremont is based upon sales tax. And how do you get sales tax? You get people to buy in Claremont. And as a result, you're working with your Chamber of Commerce on a campaign called Shop Claremont. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely.
We have a little prop here.
We do.
I love props.
This is a bag that will be made available early on in the campaign to shoppers, and it'll also contain information about shopping locally. And some of those statistics, just for the benefit of your viewers today, is that for every $100 roughly that you spend in the local community, $68 of that goes back to the local community. That's
really?
That's what the statistics apparently show. The other thing, of course, is local businesses tend to create more stable, sustainable jobs here in the local community. Of course, it promotes entrepreneurship, which is very important to the American economy and our local community. We also, of course, as I said, we get sales tax back. Right off the top, we get about 12 cents on every dollar of sales tax, and then beyond that, there are even some other local taxes that come for roads and for mental health from sales tax. So by the time you factor that all in, we're getting probably close to 20 cents on every dollar of sales tax locally.
East of you is the Inland Empire. And the Inland Empire has been ravaged by the housing crisis, the foreclosure crisis. What I'm wondering is, has that leaked into your area, and is it impacting Claremont?
We have had some foreclosures in town, and it does have an impact. But overall, our community's been very fortunate compared to some of those. We haven't been hit as hard by that, and our property values have pretty well sustained themselves in a much better way.
So how are you feeling about your area? Because we hear that the recession may be over. Ben Bernanke, the chair of the Fed, said he thinks it's over. Are you feeling like it's over in your community?
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm a little bit more concerned about our state in light of the tough budget problems that we've had. We've had a lot of layoffs, and how that's going to impact the economy here locally has yet to be seen.
Right.
But you know, one of the things, as I said, we want to encourage people to help our local employment by shopping in Claremont.
Mayor, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet. For Local Edition, I'm Brad Pomerantz. Back to CNN HLN.